You know, in the crazy, high stakes world of AI, there's one company making a bet that could literally change everything. We're talking about advanced micro devices, AMD. And today, we are going to break down the massive gamble that could make them the next titan of tech, or, well, leave them completely in the dust. And that really brings us to the big question, right? For years, AMD has been the challenger, the scrappy underdog. But now, in this new gold rush of artificial intelligence, is this finally their moment to lead? Or are they just going to stay stuck in the shadow of their rivals forever? All right, so to really get what's going on with AMD's huge bet, we first have to understand their unique and kind of tricky spot in the market right now. So think of the chip world like this. On one side, you have Nvidia. They are the undisputed king of AI, and man, their stock price shows it. On the other side, you've got the old giant, Intel, desperately trying to reinvent itself. And where's AMD? They are planted smack dab in the middle of those two. Now, being in this middle ground means a lot. See, the company's stock isn't getting dragged down like a legacy player, but it also doesn't have that eye-watering premium of the market leader. What that really means is that the stock price itself is a bet, a huge bet that massive growth is right around the corner. And that bet? Well, it all comes down to the company's absolutely colossal gamble on AI. And I'm telling you, this isn't just a small step for AMD. It's a full-blown revolution if they pull it off. Okay, so the heart of this entire gamble is a massive deal with one of the biggest names you can think of in AI, OpenAI. By signing on to supply them with AI processors, AMD basically fired a warning shot right at Nvidia. I mean, this one deal could shake up the entire data center world. But a bet this big, well, it comes with a really interesting string attached. As part of the deal, AMD gave something called warrants to OpenAI. Just think of them as special coupons to buy stock later at a fixed price. Now, if OpenAI uses these warrants, it could increase the total number of AMD shares out there by up to 10%. And that, my friends, introduces a really important idea: share dilution. So what on earth is share dilution? Let's make it super simple. Use the pizza analogy. Imagine the whole company is one big pizza. If new shares get issued, it's like someone comes in and just adds more slices to that same pizza. Now, your original slice is still there, but it's a smaller piece of the entire pie. That's share dilution in a nutshell. But here's the twist. That 10% dilution, it doesn't just happen. It's actually tied to them hitting some major performance goals. So, in a weird way, the only way that major dilution happens is if the deal is already a massive success for AMD. It's what you'd call a high-class problem for sure, but it is still a potential cost for anyone holding the stock. Of course, you can't make a high-stakes gamble like this without some serious risks. And for AMD, believe me, the challenges are very, very real. And they're coming from all sides. One huge concern is what's happening back at home base in AMD's traditional businesses. While everyone's focused on AI, their consumer graphics card business, the thing that made them famous, has been getting squeezed hard, dropping to a pretty shocking 6% market share. And it makes you wonder, can they really afford to be losing ground here while they're off fighting a brand new war?
But, and this is what makes this whole story so fascinating, at the exact same time their GPU business is taking a hit, their CPU division is absolutely crushing it. I mean, they're stealing a ton of market share from their biggest rival. It's like a tale of two different companies living under the same roof. So you've got this internal tug of war going on, and it's happening on a much bigger battlefield. The competition from all sides is frankly brutal, and trying to deliver a new generation of incredibly complex AI chips, that's a massive job, where one tiny delay could be a total disaster. And all of this is playing out in the semiconductor market, which is famous for these incredible booms followed by really painful busts. Timing is everything. So we've got the setup, the big gamble, and all the risks. So where does all this lead? Let's try to map out the three most likely futures for AMD. So how could this all shake out? Well, we can think about it in terms of odds. The base case, which is the most likely path, is basically a coin flip, right at 50%. But look at the sides. There's a very real 25% chance for a bull case, where everything goes perfectly, and an equal 25% chance for a bear case, where things go south. The future is pretty wide open. So what do these futures actually look like? Well, the bull case is the dream scenario, right? AMD lands more huge AI deals, and they become a real challenger to Nvidia. The bear case, that's the nightmare. The AI bet just doesn't pay off, and their main businesses keep struggling. And the base case?
That's the middle of the road path, where AMD carves out a solid but not exactly dominant piece of the AI pie. Okay, so you've got these three possible futures in your head. How do you actually know which one is happening in real time? Here are the key things you need to put on your watch list. First, and this is the most obvious one, new AI contract wins. That is the lifeblood of the whole bull case. Next, you gotta watch the margins. Are they actually making good money on these new chips? Also, keep an eye on those GPU reports. Is a comeback even possible? And finally, track any news on those warrants we talked about, and, this is critical, how AMD's chips actually perform against Nvidia's in real-world tests. So there you have it. AMD has pushed all its chips to the center of the table. This strategy is incredibly bold, the risks are crystal clear, and the possible outcomes are, well, they're dramatic. The only question left is the big one, the one that could define the next decade of technology. Was it enough?